Hey, Dr. Isaac Jones here. I'm here with Warren Phillips, who is an incredible expert in toxicology. He has one of the fastest growing Instagram profiles in the world, natural health space in the world right now. He went from 0 to over 300,000 people following him because of his message about non-toxic living. And so, Warren, thank you for being here with me.
Absolutely.
I would love for you just to share, how did you get into this in the first place? Like, what made you become one of the world's leading experts in toxicology and understanding healthy homes, healthy environments, and ultimately healthy bodies?
Well, like most of us, and especially health practitioners, and I just interviewed over 20 of them for my Non-Toxic Dad channel, they get sick from their environments. They get sick from toxicity, mold, heavy metals, root canals, all these causational strategies, and that was me back starting in 2004. I started getting really, really sick to the point where I had to leave my job, move into my parents' basement, which was full of mold, where my life was at the point where I didn't want to live anymore. A mutual friend of us, Dr. Dan, told me, hey, maybe you're heavy metal poison, because I cleaned up federal use defense sites, abandoned mines.
Because you graduated with your master's in environmental toxicology, right?
So backstory on that, so you know my story really well. I had my master's degree at University of Montana, and I focused on toxicology and low temperature aqueous geochemistry, so that's like the geochemistry in natural environments. So I looked at the binding of heavy metals through plants, in soils, and how those exposures can come out and pollute animals. It's called health in the human environment. So cleaning up hazardous waste, because I came from the reduce, recycle, reuse, I'm like, I'm gonna clean up the environment and save the world, all these toxins, which I still believe in. But those toxins that I was cleaning up were making me sick. Scary part is, this hotel, this radio tower would be illegal in 3 other countries. The amount of, it pegs where it maxes out my radio frequency meter, right? So this wouldn't be allowed in other countries.
Yeah, we are in a hotel right now that has literally like cell phone towers all around the hotel.
Because we're on a hill.
And we're on a hill, we're on the top of a hill. So he's got a radio frequency meter that he's actually measured the radio frequency in this hotel, and it's off the charts. Like carcinogenic levels of radio frequencies.
For sure. And you're not sleeping well, I'm not sleeping well.
I kept waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We need to actually pick our hotels specific to like where the cell phone towers are, right?
I specifically prep hotels before I come. I make sure they wash my sheets in vinegar. I had an air filter delivered. I opened the windows, made sure I had cross flow, so I wasn't getting high levels of mold, and I wasn't sleeping. Another expert that I work with on my Homesick Home series, which is releasing this May, which talks about toxins in your home, right? Creating that awareness, because it was what I learned, that bring this full circle, is that I was cleaning up outdoor environments, but our indoor environments were making me more sick and more people sick. Mercury amalgam fillings exceed EPA air quality standards 10,000 times if you chew and have 1 or 2 amalgam fillings. So I'm cleaning up outdoor environments that have like super low levels of mercury dust that someone might get exposed to if they're riding their bicycle on a trail that's mine tailings, which is the byproducts of digging, dirt and processing it to get gold or copper or mercury, or not mercury, or lead or whatever precious metal they're mining. So maybe a little bit of dust, that your mercury amalgam fillings 20,000 times the EPA air quality standards. If you're drinking a cup of hot coffee, it's ridiculous. I could stick a meter in your mouth. It would also max out the meter. It'd be like, oh, too much mercury, I can't even read it.
Like, and how many people have mercury fillings in their mouth? It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's like they're still putting mercury in people's mouths in a lot of countries. And it's illegal in like a lot of the European countries.
Yep.
Isn't that right? And what he's referring to is that when you're chewing food and when you're drinking hot coffee, it actually increases the off-gassing of the mercury in the filling, and then you can read it, and did you say it's 10,000 times greater than what the EPA recommends is safe?
At a minimum.
At a minimum. And so that's getting up into our central nervous system, it's getting into our lungs, circulating throughout our body, and then mercury bioaccumulates in the more metabolically active tissues of the body. And then you were telling me at dinner the other day that the number one thing that crushes mitochondrial health is what?
Heavy metals and mercury.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a number one gerontogen. So these environmental toxins that cause
What is
aging.
a gerontogen?
A gerontogen is a environmental toxin. This could be now microplastics, a credit card we breathe every week. That's just breathing, let alone how much we're getting exposed to.
We're breathing microplastics, a credit card every week of microplastics?
Credit card a week. It's now found because now that we're able to measure at a much smaller level, we're now finding microplastics and nanoplastics in all of our tissues. It causes a 4 to 5 times increase in heart disease. They're finding it in the arteries, in the plaque.
Yeah, do you know what? I just read that research article that came out that microplastics bioaccumulate where there is heart arrhythmias, where there is arterial sclerosis, and it leads to heart disease. That's a crazy article. I mean, that's a groundbreaking article. I mean, and I know you've known this for a long time, but the research backs it up.
Yeah. So this movement of I'm really, I've been, me. Once I got sick, I noticed that our indoor environments, all this stuff. I created seminars, started coaching doctors like you for 18 years. I'm not doing it anymore, and now I'm moving into media. So that's why I'm doing the Homesick Home series, the Non-Toxic Dad channel. Like, I really want to get this message out there.
You're doing a great job, too.
Thanks,
You're
bro.
killing it. You're killing it.
That's because I learned how to come from my heart like you. Because that's what matters. People want authenticity today. They don't want another program. They want people that's going to give them hope. They want people individuals that actually care deeply about something and care about the individual. So if you're a doctor, it's about connecting with your heart and really caring about who's on the other side of your program, your online program. You have to think about that individual, and then you'll create a program that meets that need, far exceeding any of your expectations. So if you're looking for like a marketing tip, just be you, tell your story. Interview 20 doctors over 20 health practitioners this weekend, and they come out and tell me, this is what I do, I'm an expert at this, and I'm like, I love all that. And I appreciate this wonderful, like you're in your clinic right now telling me about all the wonderful things in your clinic. I want to learn from you. I want to know why you would understand this information to this extent. Can you please tell me your story? And then the tears just come, right?
Wow.
Because
everyone, all these doctors.
All these doctors have suffered.
The top medical doctors in the country, the top cardiologists, the top surgeons, they're here at this seminar. And it's because they're in this movement that we're creating because they had their own health trauma just like you did, and that's what you're kind of bringing out of them in the story. So what I love what Warren is saying is that this is the real secret to doing well on social media, is coming from your heart and educating real information. And like if you go to non-toxic dad, is it? Or hashtag non-toxic dad?
At non-toxic dad on any social media, TikTok.
At non-toxic dad on social media, on Instagram. You can get all of that. Now, practically, two things. What are the top, I guess, social media viral tips that you could give people? But the second thing is practically what can we do to minimize toxins in our environment? Because if we want to talk about the number one aging kind of issues that are happening, the word you used was what?
Gerontogens.
Gerontogens. These are toxins that cause aging.
Yeah, so I'll hit both of those really quick. Gerontogens, there's a whole bunch of them. Heavy metals is the worst. They cause cellular senescence and zombie cells. So we're talking about anti-aging and longevity, but if you still have heavy metals in your mouth, you could be trying to do fasting and autophagy, which is great. It's going to keep you alive. But if you have heavy metals in your body, it's causing that cell to replicate and die too quickly, and then it gets to that last phase, causing it to replicate into a senescent cell, which shouldn't happen until you're 90, 100 years old, but yet you have this zombie dead cell because the environmental toxins have forced it to age rapidly because it's saying, this is bad, I need to get rid of this toxin, I now have mitochondrial dysfunction, I now have DNA damage, I gotta replicate into a new healthy cell, moves it down into a senescent zombie cell like that. Mycotoxins in your house, 70% of all homes have toxic levels of mold. 70% of homes. You have your own story. You called me and said, hey, Warren, make sure these guys are doing it right.
Yeah.
What are they fogging it with, right?
Yeah, and it's not even like, it's humid countries like Japan, right? The southern part of America. But then when I go to California, I'm at my friend's house and there's black mold on the top of his house. There's black mold in the air conditioning units. And so I assume even in dry conditions, there's mold.
Yeah, anytime there's water, anytime there's food, leaks commonly behind your sinks, in your bathrooms, of course, in your showers, in your kitchen. Like
I just had to completely tear out my house.
Whole basement. But you did it right. And what I'm going to share on stage in just a minute is that what happens if you didn't understand, because you're exposed to all these great doctors, that you went to all these amazing seminars to learn this information.
Yeah, I would have been just mold toxic.
It could have ruined your life, your mission, your passion, your family's health, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars chasing symptoms with medications and drugs. But because you have this knowledge, because we have this knowledge, we can go out there and stop this from happening. And that's the whole reason we're at these seminars together. That's the whole reason I'm doing Homesick Home, because we got to get this information out there, because it literally saves and changes lives.
Wow, that's so great. Yeah, absolutely. So check out Non-Toxic Dad. Last thing, what are the practical, like, top 3 things that you would recommend that we do to minimize toxins in our lives?
Oh man, it's tough.
Clean environment, right?
There's so many, right? So
watch your documentary.
Yeah, watch my documentary. But if you have silver amalgams, get them out. Test
properly.
Yeah.
IAOMT.org.
And then interview the heck out of them. Make sure here's the trick. Go to IAOMT.org. Interview the clinic. Ask the doctor, does he wear protection when he's removing the amalgam fillings from people? Then he actually cares and understands the danger he's in. He's not just removing them because
make money.
Because it's a great way to get into a cash practice or something like that. But if he's not wearing a mask and protecting himself and doesn't have a filter, at least have a filter right next to your mouth sucking out the vapors, I wouldn't choose him, because he's not heartfelt enough about the true dangers of these toxins.
So get rid of your amalgams. That's number 1.
Test your home for mold. 70% of hey, nice device. 70% of your homes have these toxic heavy mold levels. Make sure you find a building biologist to do some testing if you can afford that. But you want to do the right testing. So that's why I really want you to watch the series, because in the mold environment, just like in the natural health environment, there's really good people and there's other people that just take advantage of the fear. So you have to do the right testing, identify it, and get it out of your home. Going back to aging, mycotoxins stop the production of your anti-aging proteins like keratin and elastin, which causes you to wrinkle and age. So these are anti-aging tips when it comes to removing toxins. The last thing, get your indoor air environment, start in your bedroom, get an organic bed, get rid of any off-gassing toxic furniture with formaldehydes and volatile organic compounds that are going to be compromising that time when you're supposed to be regenerating and getting healthier. Do you want me to do any tips on social media?
Yeah, quick tips.
Quick tips, social media. Obviously, be your authentic self, come from your heart.
Yep.
But when you're building a channel, never sell a thing. Like, especially when you're building your community, that's not the point of this. The point of it, like I said before, is that you want to create programs that comes from your heart. When you're communicating on social media, think about that one person on the other side. If you're having a conversation with them, like you're knee to knee with them and they're sick and their family's sick, and be like, how can I give them information that'd be like, wow, I didn't know that before.
Yeah.
Or like, wow, that changed my life. If I wouldn't have known that, those types of aha moments. Tell your story, be authentic, entertain if you can.
Yeah.
Right? If you're an entertainer, if you're an educator, educate, be funny, and just be your authentic self.
I love it.
Just like you do.
One cool thing about this guy is that he married my sister. So
did.
He's my brother, which is awesome. I mean, it's a blessing to be able to talk to him about all this stuff all the time. But thank you so much for today. Check out Non-Toxic Dad at Non-Toxic Dad. Thank you so much, brother.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.